Have you ever felt like dance just wasn't for you? Like it's for everyone else, but maybe it just isn't right for you? Like maybe there's other people who should have access to it, or there's other people who've done it for years so they can continue with it, and you've never tried it before, so why bother now? Well, in this video, I want to share why I think dance is for everyone and everybody can dance. And to do that, I need to tell you a little story, and that story is my own story. I hope that you'll stick around with me. I'm going to answer a couple of questions at the end and give you my main takeaway on why I think that dance is for you and you can dance. All right, so my name is Lauren Ashley Messina, and I've been dancing, teaching dance, choreographing in a dance world, and doing all the dance things for 26 years. Maybe that's the same as your experience if you're a dancer. Maybe it's different than yours if you've never danced before or you're interested in this topic of dance. But for me, dance has always been a part of my life. Since I was 7 years old, my parents gave me some books to practice and learn how to dance before I was able to go into a dance class at the age of 9. And from the age of 9, I have been in dance settings until now. And I am now, how old am I? 35. So I've been doing this for a while, and I've been in a lot of spaces that have been spaces with artists and dancers and movers. Movement has been something that I've practiced. It's also something that some might say comes naturally to me. I think that it is something that I'm gifted with, but also it's a skill that I've developed and practiced for years, being able to dance certain styles and to move my body in a way that feels good and people enjoy watching. So the story for me is I grew up in these settings my whole life, and if you're a dancer, you might understand what it's like to be in a dance studio, or maybe you know someone in your life who's taken dance classes, or maybe a child or a relative or a friend. If you've stepped foot into a dance studio, or if you've ever been on a stage or seen a performance, you might be able to imagine what this world is like. And it is certainly a world and a community of its own. And growing up in these environments, I was very familiar with the etiquette of a dance class and the culture of a dance class and what it means to be a dancer, or so I thought. Dancing my whole life, I danced through high school, I danced in college, I went on to get my MFA in dance in grad school, and I danced after school as well in a professional dance company. So it might seem like, Lauren, why are you telling me all this? This is the complete opposite of what you're saying. You're saying that dance is for everyone and everyone can dance, but you've grown up in this setting your whole life, so it's easy for you to say. And I think that's true, but it took me... Let me go back. I've been in settings with dance for a long time, and it's familiar to me, yes. But when people asked if dance was my passion, I wouldn't tell them that dance is necessarily my passion, or I can't remember if I said this as a kid that it's something that I love, but I certainly didn't feel that way in college, and I moved on to go to the Ailey School in New York City, and I remember vividly there are many dancers walking the hallways that felt like dance was their passion. They felt such a deep connection to it, and it was like at the core of who they were. And yes, I had a strong identity of being a dancer, but I didn't feel that sense of passion for it, that it's something I just couldn't live without, even though I'd never lived without it. I don't know if that makes sense. But not having that sense of passion, that sense of love, that deep connection to dance, for me, dance was more of a routine. It was something that I did, something I was good at. Thankfully, my parents put me in these lessons, and I was able to learn and continue on this path because I think it served me well. Being able to have something I felt comfortable with, something I was really strong in, and then I could feel like I could achieve something and excel, and I could receive rewards and accolades that related to dancing. So for me, dance was more of a routine, and it was something that I did and continued to do. And I think for that reason, I built up this cycle of positivity related to dance. But it wasn't until I became a parent and I birthed a child. My partner and I have a 3-year-old, and I guess however many years ago it was when I was preparing for birth in that whole year, and that was actually during the pandemic. So my life related to dance changed because of that as well. I started teaching classes online, and just my dance life became different in a world where performances became virtual and some were canceled. A lot of arts funding was cut later on, shows canceled. So life changed a lot. Maybe you've had an experience like that. Something changed in you and you realized your connection to this thing that you've loved for so long was different. Maybe it was stronger, maybe it weakened a little bit, or you completely left that part of your life, that part of your identity. For me, becoming a parent, birthing a child, my relationship to movement and to my body changed so much. And in that journey, I had to return to dance. Didn't have to. I chose to return to dance and wanted to. I returned to the professional company I was dancing with before giving birth. I danced through my postpartum experience, and that really is a privilege to be able to do that, and a gift. And I don't take it lightly. During that time of returning to dance, I rediscovered why I enjoyed it in the first place. Not being able to move in the same way, not being able to dance as often as I wanted to, whenever I wanted to, not being able to perform on stage and have that experience, it gave me a new perspective of what it's like not being able to dance as much or as often or as well, maybe even, as I was at one point. And the return to dance is what, for me, what is the word? It just, I lost my words. It made it a much stronger connection for me when I was able to come back to it and find new meaning in it. And the reason I believe that dance is for everybody and everyone can dance, I think that movement is universal. It's something that we as humans do all the time. We don't call these movements dances all the time, but we are dancing our way through life in different ways, even as I sit here kind of stiffly. I think that we all have a connection to movement, and we might not be aware of it. Our eyes might not be open yet to how we move and how we dance on a regular basis. And for some of us, I think to go into a traditional dance setting could be uncomfortable. Maybe we didn't have access to classes, or maybe we didn't have the appropriate attire to take a dance class. Maybe we didn't have transportation to get there, or there are often people whose parents or guardians or caregivers shun them away from pursuing an arts career or even trying it to begin with. There's so many things around arts and around dance in particular. Maybe that you have been one that was told you shouldn't try it based on how you looked, or how you performed your identity, or how you dressed, or where you lived. But the wild thing is, these are just things that people tell us about it. These are just things that people tell us about dance, and it's really not true. So what am I trying to say here? I'm going to look back at my notes. Yes, movement is universal. I think that everyone who is in a body, every body and every experience can have the opportunity to dance and to move and to feel that connection to their body in a new way. And I also believe that community amplifies the joy and the accessibility of dance. Being able to do it together with other people is a huge factor to how you relate to it, and to whether you continue with it, and to how you experience dance as a life-giving art form. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions that are related to this topic, but truly, to tell you more and more about it, I really would love to hear from you. How do you feel? If you've listened this far, I really appreciate it. This is just like an open conversation with you. Are you a dancer? Are you returning to dance? Have you never tried dance but you're interested in it? I want to know. You can leave a comment and I'll be sure to read them, and I'll try my best to reply to all of them as well. The questions I wanted to ask: have you ever felt excluded from a dance space? So I'm curious to know from you, but also for me. There are times that I felt excluded from a dance space, even as a dancer, and it's so interesting. We can go into these spaces that are set up in a certain way that they signal to us that this is a place of prestige, and this is a place of performing, and this is a place of excellence and high achievement. This is a place of high standards, and this is sometimes a place that might feel cold to some people. This is sometimes a place that might feel inaccessible to some people. And I love now that a lot of dance spaces are changing in so many ways. They're really opening up possibilities for everyone. But in the past, that's not always the way that the dance world has been. And maybe that's been your experience when trying to enter a dance space. You felt that there was a barrier or there was some disconnect where you weren't able to connect in that way. I don't have a solution for that. But one thing that I've learned now is that dance can be done anywhere. Movement can be done anywhere. And you can find a deep and satisfying connection to dance and movement and your body-mind system. You can find a deep connection to yourself through movement in places that don't seem like a traditional dance setting. And sometimes, for me, that has felt even more creative, even more inspiring, and an even more long-lasting connection that carries with me throughout the day, because I don't feel like it's just something that's for these traditional spaces. I feel like it's something that we can take through life, that we can really practice. Have you ever felt excluded from a dance space? That's the question. The next question is, how can dance be accessible to everyone? Wow, I think a lot of places are asking that question now. How can dance become more accessible to all of us? Whether it is the price of a class or whether it is the location and not having transportation or the long commute to a dance studio in your area. It's interesting because a lot of dance classes are now accessible online, especially after the pandemic. Many studios have classes available online. Places like Steps on Broadway, places like CLI Studios. There are a lot of different organizations that offer classes and even performances that are accessible to anyone around the world online. And I think that's super cool. There are also a lot of programs, arts funding that has been made available for free programming for children who want to take dance classes. That's not the case everywhere, and unfortunately, arts funding is some of the first funding that's often cut. And these programs that are so vital to so many students having access to the arts, they're often the first to go. So, how can dance be made more accessible to everyone? I think one way that dance can be made more accessible to us is education around the concept that it doesn't have to be done in one way. It doesn't have to be done in one place, and it doesn't have to be done by a particular kind of person or body. Dance is for everybody, and everyone can dance anytime, anywhere. Yes, we might dance to different degrees and different styles. Maybe we move in ways that are authentic to us. And maybe there's styles that we haven't trained in, per se, but dance is still something that we can do. And our bodies have movement that is valuable, worthwhile, that should be expressed if it's something that you want to express. I believe that you should have that opportunity. And I think it can start with more people knowing that it's something that you can do right now, moving your body. And I would love to share some tips and tools with you. If you're interested, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Why does community make dance even more powerful? So I don't think I told you in the beginning of this video, but I have a group that's an online community that I've been working on and with, co-creating with the members in the group for about 10 months now. And I didn't even realize until thinking more about the concept of community, how much dance and dancers and movers and movement spaces already have this kind of culture and community that grows within it. People who move together create this culture. We often share space with one another and have to navigate that sometimes without any speaking, like it's just silent. We're just moving through spaces together and navigating our bodies being in the same space. We often do that with partnering too. So we'll be navigating, sharing weight and giving resistance and pushing and pulling and feeling skin to skin contact if we do that kind of movement, like contact improvisation or partnering of any kind. We're creating community when we're moving in space with others, even without words, which is so interesting. But I also feel like dance brings us together. People dance through joy. People dance through pain. People dance for healing. They dance for genuine self-expression. It's one of the coolest arts that allows us to express so many different emotions. It allows us to connect with ourselves in times where we may not feel like we have the words, or we may not feel like we can share in the way we want to. Movement gives us an opportunity to connect in a new way. And so it's really neat that we create this community with others who are moving alongside us. Moving into an online space, the group that I have and am with is called School Dance. If you're interested at all in dance and trying dance, I welcome you to join us. It's a free community. It's for anyone, dance enthusiasts, dance practitioners, dance professionals. If you're new to dance, if dance is your career, if you're returning to dance, if you just want to try it or be interested in it or talk about the topic of dance, please come and join us in the group. I think that you will enjoy it. And if you don't, you can always leave. I hope you'll stay, but it's a very flexible space. Check out the link in the description. It's school.com/dance. So that's one way that I think dance can become more accessible. One way to build community with others is just to enter a space where you know that there are like-minded people that are interested in similar things, and to give it your best effort. And that's one thing that we do. We collaborate with one another. We share space and support. And it's really neat that we are able to do that online with free classes and challenges and events and things like that. So these are just a few of my thoughts regarding why dance is for everybody, and also why community is important for dance. If you have any questions for me, please leave a comment. I would love to make a video related to your question, to answer it. Not that I have all the answers, but just to talk about these things. If there's something that you heard in this video that maybe rubbed you the wrong way and you're thinking, no, that's absolutely not true, leave a comment. Again, I would love to hear about it. I'd like for this to be an open conversation that we can share and that we can talk more. Again, if you want to join our school dance community, please check out the link in the description. And if you're just someone who's interested in the concept of online spaces, if you're interested in the concept of how you can create community in an online world, I'd also love to talk more about that with you. I share ways to do that in other videos like these, and I also help people set up online communities if that's something that they're interested in doing. So you can click on both links that are in the description. There's one for the group, there's one to start your own community if that's something you're interested. I would love to talk to you about it. Thank you so much for watching this far, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. All right.